Hey everyone, welcome to the Flash qualifying round of the Fall Swinger. Just here to go over a few rules with you all before we get going. So, number one, routes are all multicolored. There's two colors on every route. So don't be confused if you're usually climbing routes with just one color, everything's in. For example, the route over here, green and yellow, climb all the green and yellow holds, all those holds are in. Number two, how to get in line. It might get a little bit busy at certain points of the day. If things are starting to line up, here's how you get in line. You take your scorecard, you go over to where it says line up here in front of the route that you want to do. Take your scorecard, put it at the back of all the other scorecards, and now you're in line for the route. Number three, a little bit of a scoring system change from how I originally advertised it. For those of you that competed in our red point qualifying round, we had numbers going all the way up the wall so you could kind of tell which hold you got to, which score you got to easily. This round we're doing away with that. It takes hours for us to tape up those numbers, and there's a better system available. So we're using route maps. So essentially, every hold has an assigned score value to it. You're gonna climb your highest. When you fall, the last hold you're able to control is gonna be what your score is. And right next to the lineup is a route map. And the route map will show what point value the hold was that you got to before you fell. Now, for those of you pretty familiar with route maps and more officially sanctioned type comps, we're not doing pluses or anything like that. We're not trying to get too complicated. So your score is simply whatever hold you got to and controlled, not slapped and slid off. You actually held it, you actually controlled it. That's the score that you receive after you fall. You'll notice on the route map, there's, for those of you not too familiar with this sort of thing, sometimes there's a hold that has 2 points. That just means you get a second point if you matched that hold before you fell. So, for instance, right here, 19, I got one hand on it, and I fell, that would be 19. I got two hands on it, then fell, that's 20. Pretty straightforward stuff. The other thing that you're gonna notice on your scorecard, witness. That means someone actually has to watch you, someone has to judge you. So find a friend or make new friends and make sure they write on their name after they judge you and you agree what the score was. All right? Next thing you're gonna notice when you walk in is there's black tape everywhere. Now these are mostly just dividing where the routes go. So for those of you familiar with black tape in competitions, usually it means you can't use anything past it, you can't even touch your foot past it. For the sake of our competition, these are just dividing the routes up. So if your foot goes past, if I'm climbing on this route right here and my foot touches the wall outside of it, that's fine. I just can't put my foot on a hold or a volume past the line. The only exception here is when there's a total angle change. So arêtes and dihedral, so corners. The black tape going down this corner means you can't grab it with your hand, you can't hook your foot or heel or whatever around it, it's out, okay? If you do that, it's not a whoops, here, I'll get back onto the route. No, if you do it, your attempt is done. Whatever hold you're at before you did the whoopsie, that's your score, you come on down. Same thing going for the corners, these open book or sidewalls or dihedrals, whatever you want to call them. So if there's a black tape running down the corner like that, if you're on this route, you can't put your foot out here and stem. Okay? It happens more so for the lead climbers than the top ropers for this round. And I tried to go through and mark some X's on the walls just so you're extra clear. There's an X there. There's an X there. There's an X right. If any of you guys climb here at True North regularly, we always mark out the dihedrals. I hate when people stem and get a no hands rest. So it should be pretty straightforward and obvious. The arêtes, the dihedrals, they're out. Next up on my list, scoring tops. So if you're in the top rope category, to get maximum points, 2 hands on the finish hold and control. If you're in one of the lead categories, House rule, so this is a little different than a traditionally sanctioned comp. House rule is one hand on the finish hold and you have to clip both anchors. All right? That's the way you get the top score for lead putting. Finally, you'll notice on your scorecards, there's a little column for a bonus try. So you only get one attempt per route, except for one route if you're choosing. If you felt you could have done a little bit better, you can pick one route to give a second try on. And you'll mark down your score under the bonus try. Same thing, get a witness for it. Now, for scoring purposes, the bonus try will count a little bit less. Let's say someone got to 20 on their flash attempt, someone got to 20 on their bonus attempt. The person who got there on the flash attempt scoring will be a little bit better. What else do we got here? Schedule change. So on the posters it said the round ends at 5:30. That's not true. It's ending at 5 o'clock. A little change there. It's going to take a bunch of time to get all the scores together, do all the math to make sure we figure out who's on for finals. All right, that's a wrap. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, come find me. I'll be around all day.